of the white cells.
She was a waitress.
Not according to the internet.
I choose to believe the internet article.
Yes.
She was a beach girl. Her whole family lived in L.A. You know, that was one of the reasons she stayed with us, because OJ was propping up her whole family. Everybody was getting jobs and opportunities because of OJ.
What do we have here?
This is your outfit?
A graduate.
Yep.
Is there anything special about it? Like ropes or things that
any
other
special
people don't have?
Not yet.
Dangling.
I get my cords
appendages?
like right before graduation.
All right, so this is the slacker uniform. She'll be getting her cords and achievements later.
Everybody gets one of those.
Yeah, that's the stock
National
one.
Honor Society,
They give one of those to
International
fucking Jimmy
Thespian
and-
Society, and National Speech and Debate Association, which
So
is another honor society.
3 cords.
3 honor societies.
I think that's a little gaudy. Maybe stick with 2.
He thinks that's
Yeah,
gaudy, and you should stick with 2.
Oh, wow.
It is. Nobody likes a braggart.
Should have told
You
me
know?
that a couple years ago.
Well,
Did I told
Anyway,
you guys about
congratulations.
the guy
Thank you.
that I went to middle school with, that instead of getting
Let's see if I can
that he got a participation trophy for middle school? Did I tell you that? So when I was in middle school, one of my buddies, Joe, I knew the whole time in middle school that he was doing shit in school and he didn't care. He didn't give a fuck. And that always baffled me because I was so anal about stressing out over that shit, even the stuff that didn't matter in school. And he got... We went through the whole thing, 8th grade graduation before high school, and you get your little BS, you graduated middle school, woohoo, the plaque, and I got mine that said, congratulations on graduating middle school, woohoo. And right afterward, we were all standing in our little group of friends talking, and Joe came over and was like, hey, look what they gave me. And he handed it to me, and it was they're all in that little booklet, where you open it up and you see your little certificate, and he opened his up and it had the exact same font, so they still had to get it printed at whatever fucking Kinkos they used, and it just said, thank you for participating in 8th grade and then his name. And it was like, oh my god, like that is so much meaner than just not letting him walk, like making him walk and then giving him that and saying, if you want to start high school next year, we'll see you tomorrow.
And that's our graduates for 1994. And now, Jimmy, who tried real hard. Our best effort diploma goes to you, Jimmy.
Oh, if they had a best effort one, they wouldn't have given it to him. Like, they would have been like, they don't print try harder next time. They only print thanks for trying. And so that's what we gave you. Don't think we mean it. We don't. You didn't try and you didn't fool us. Like that. Oh, that was so funny. But that's something that I don't know.
Did they let
That's
him go
something that's what?
Ninth grade? They let him move on. Did he move on to high school?
Yeah, he had to do an obscene amount of schoolwork that summer, and then ended up and it was so stupid. Like I was glad that happened to some people because he was not the only person that happened to that year.
I don't know if I ever told my summer school story. We should save it for PKA. But yeah,
save it. Yeah,
I went to summer school.
I'll need to think about it. I never had to do summer school.
Of course not. Only the fucking idiots did.
I did one. I
did
did
you?
I did one class.
Oh.
I had failed a class, and so I had. And
Let's
I was
save
like,
it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Yes,
save it.
I actually want to
It
save
was
that
rough.
too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, mine was.
Make a note of that.
Mine was so. Yeah.
Of our
Mine was
summer
like
school.
prison.
I like instead of it like interrupting or like pinning it. I thought that worked well. And then when you're like, Kyle took the pin out. Yeah.
Yes, I like that too. So let's put a pin in the school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try it. I have no good summer school stories, but I'll think of the summer.
15 minutes.
Colin gets like hugely underestimated by all the other kids in class. Part of it's because he's a little chubby, but the bigger part of it is a speech impediment, right? So they're like, this kid's gonna suck. He's like picking him last, and then he comes through as the hero, like time and time again. Just like
That's great.
Yeah, other kids, they like, so you can boulder to the top and then you like fall backwards into the foam pit. Dude, it is terrifying. I've done it from half that height, and you're like, I don't really know. Like, people have done this before, right? It's okay. He goes to the top, doesn't give a fuck, falls down, and he spent so many years doing it now that it's kind of neat to watch him like just kick ass in these different events.
That's cool.
I have a similar story. When I at the Dick's Sporting Goods wall, like 6 years ago, I got halfway up it and I was like, "Oh, fuck this!" And I just came back down. So it was take free from technology.
In the market for a new phone. This one is really. Hang on, let me see if you can. Yeah, it's really cracked.
Okay. No, mine's
maybe
fine.
that's-
I have an iPhone 6, not the 6 Plus, but like the old school 6. And the battery even started working
Blues
better.
on the air.
It's crack.
Yeah.
Mine's-
All right. Well, everybody see what we're doing.
All right.
Everybody see our cracked phones?
Yeah.
How
I
is
don't know what I
4K
want.
display
Not cracked.
A,
PKA logo.
I loved.
wow, it makes my hands so sweaty, like being up there, knowing you can fall, even though knowing you're safe. Like it's still creepy.
Sweaty hands is this thing that like gamers talk about a lot, and they have the gamer grip and the sweaty palms and stuff. I don't like that's not a problem with me, but sweaty feet can be. So all my shoe selections are like how to handle sweaty feet.
We all knew you had a palm to upper lip graft. Like, you don't have, like
Can suffer serious
stainless steel tables and everyone's wearing suits and
British
ties.
accent or Russian?
German.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
I feel like because that way I feel like if I cooperate, maybe things go my way.
You mean if you were a torturist, you would have a nice clean area and wear a suit like some maniac?
Yeah, because I imagine the best torturers used to be medical, used to have a medical background, and so they still follow through with all of the same, preparation and care.
But I feel like if you're like if you were torturing me and you pulled out like some medical clamps and some scalpels and things like that, I'd be scared. But if you pulled out like a mallet and a pair of wire cutters and pliers and stuff, I'd be terrified. Like that would
Tell you I'm gonna
do
with a
like from
scalp.
a shed,
I'm gonna like surgically alter
or
you
that
in some
cigar
way.
thing that cuts the tip off. Like I don't know where you plan on putting that, but
yeah.
I don't like
That
it.
is good.
And then 8-finger Woody, and then 7-finger Woody. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, I agree with Woody that if some maniac has like opera playing in the background and he's examining his scalpels, I'm like, all right, this guy's clearly sane enough that the other people in his life don't know this is going on, which means that there's a chance that someone could come over and save me. There's someone in this guy's life. Whereas if I'm pulled into a shed by some hillbilly bumpkin and he's just got a mishmash array of old farm equipment and he's like kind of squealing and mumbling to himself, he's not worried about being loud. He's in the corner and you're tied up and he's doing this thing. Like then I'm thinking like, goddamn, like this guy's there's no one for miles. Like this, I'm fucked. Like this guy's gonna maybe just cave my head in right now, maybe torture me. I don't know what to expect. Whereas you, I don't know, I'd rather be taken by that guy.
I guess it depends what the goal is. If it's to get information, then all I got to do is be like, "Hey, we're going to torture you if you don't talk." I'm like, "Well, what do you want to know? Let's talk here. We're all friends, right? Right? Who are these sons of bitches we're trying to get anyway? I'm with you. Let's get them." Like
I am vegan.
In the movie where they roll out, when they always have the implements rolled up in a cloth with like pockets in it, and they like roll it out on the table. Don't even roll that bitch out. You get out that rolled up cloth, and I know what the game is. The jig is up. It's okay. Let me tell you where the guys are hiding. There's one under the floorboards right now. Shoot. Like in the movies, there's always somebody peeking up through the floorboards. Kill him. There he is.
You're
Like,
the fast switch into Stockholm syndrome of anyone. Like they're still on the phone with your parents being like, "Give us $1 million or you will never see your son." And you're yelling over there, "Tell them to fuck themselves. I'm on this team now. Yeah, we're stealing people, making money. Right, guys? Untie me. High five.
Yeah. Maybe I know some other people they should kidnap instead. Their parents will pay more quickly. I could help with this. Like, no reason to hang on to me.
And then what's going to is some guy in a suit, I guess in your fantasy, is going to come over and be like, "Getting a bit mouthy, aren't we?" And he's going to snip one of your fingers off, because he's gone through this game. You think you're the first guy to try and get on their team? They have an elite crew of guys in suits with scalpels walking in, Mr. Green Coat. You don't have the dress code. It's a jacket attire for their crew. But yeah, I think
this team without a tie.
A lot of psychological stuff, because I feel like it would almost be worth, like if you pull someone in and right off the bat you're just boop taking a fingernail, it's like you've already set a bar. You know, if you come back in and you like aggressively, or if you like burn a hand with a lighter, like it's not as bad as having your nail ripped out, I imagine. And so they kind of, you've lowered the bar then. You're like, oh, well, fuck. Like now I need to amp it back up.
It's awful, man.
This is disgusting. This is real This is
Yeah.
pretty much wiretapping my phone. It's a modern day phone calls, wiretaps that are getting sold to advertisers to figure out what I might want to do. Like it's there. It's everything about me, and probably a lot of people, your browsing activity. But
we need, right? We need our own ISP.
Like,
so we can sell data.
We need privacy ISP, and like we don't sell your shit. Like we don't care what you're up to, dark web, deep web, kiddie porn. Like we keep your shit private. That's what we do here.
Tick it back like 2 on that dial.
No.
Got a great
See, you tick it back, we don't get any headlines.
You
this
need to be all of them.
way, everybody's talking about us, and then the moderates move to our side.
So what did you name the company?
The privacy ISP.
I was going with PKA ISP.
Sure, okay.
That'd be PKIPS.
Kips.
Yeah, that's a nice acronym. Okay.
Maybe the child porn thing goes a little far, Kyle. But I know that you're very black and white, all or nothing.
Only if it's animated. Only animated kiddie porn. That's all we let through the PKA ISP.
Come in.
Maybe if I'm in my basement and I get terrified by like stuff's falling over and there's someone thrashing around, moving through the boxes quickly with like a sword. Maybe they've gotten my goddamn samurai sword.
A katana and a trench coat.
My katana. Yeah, they have my katana that they've gotten from down there, and they're running at me screaming. I'm certainly not bringing it to my shoulder, taking aim, using the red dot. I'm totally blasting from here. It's never coming. It's like I've got that Geisley trigger working it faster than I've ever worked it before. I'm shooting 13 times a second fucking AR-15.
Call of Duty, I start from the hip and bring it up during the fight.
That's what you do in real life too. Like regardless of what you might have been trained to do, or in any case, I don't. We're in my goddamn basement. You're 8 feet away with a katana. We'll start shooting here.
Yeah.
You know what I've considered is, in addition to keeping the gun next to my bed, I also keep like a scary mask. Like a clown mask or a phantom mask or a scream mask, so that if the guy does come in and he has a gun, I could be like, oh, this guy, I can't burgle my own house, so I got to go after this guy and steal the one he's stealing from. Get the fuck out of here. And then he'll be like, oh, well, a burglar doesn't burglar another burglar's burglar spot. And so by thieves' code, he'll have to leave.
Yeah, you'll burger block it.
He wouldn't believe me if I came out with my face. I have to come out in a mask and seem upset about it. Like, again, like I've been getting tracked by amateur burglars all week. Anyway, that's probably not a good way to handle it. Don't do that. don't dress up as you're like he doesn't buy it and you're trying to stretch out the eye holes on your fucking it mask and trying to see him not have to shoot. So there actually is news in hockey.
The whole project will collapse.
Like flap of skin or whatever that's on the top of the wing that always gets crispy and good. You're a guaranteed good bite there. Sometimes the drummy ones, you get one where like, wow, this was a fucked up chicken. We've got a lot of growth hormone, and this is a leg that if I saw this chicken walking around, or rather dragging this enormous behemoth leg behind its shriveled little body, I'd be like, ew, who would eat that chicken leg? And then it shows up in Buffalo Wild Wings, but still good.
Or it has muscle on one side of it. You're like, what horrific accident did this chicken get into? That all its muscles are. It has like a quad but no hamstring, and you're like, well, all right, quad it is.
Poor chicken.
Yeah, those you watch those clips where you see they walk through the chicken coops and they pick up the shitty ones and just like throw them in a big vat and just go kill them or get rid of them or whatever. Like, it's easy to watch that for like 2 seconds and be like, oh, that's kind of cruel and a little too harsh, until you think about, like, imagine being 7 hours into your first day of work in the chicken coop, picking up the retarded ones and throwing them in like a box. Like, you'd realize every time, like, these aren't even alive. Like, I don't even think of these as things. Like, you're laughing, but you know what I mean. I mean, you
absolutely
you have plenty of chicken experience.
Oh yeah, they're not real creatures. Just think of them as like plants or something. It's like mowing grass. Just take it. Don't even consider it.
Oh, sure. Then he meets Henrietta, and everything changes.
That's exactly what happened. We took one chicken and we socialized with it rather than having a herd out there, or what we've done before, which is like place the chickens out in the field at like 500 yards, 600 yards, 700 yards, and they'll just sit there. They're not going to walk around, especially if it's cold, and start sniping them out with a 308 or something. They go poof. Just you get a nice, like it's like you hit a feather pillow, the poof of white feathers. And then the coyotes are going to come for what's left, and you get to shoot at them. And then the birds come for them, and you get to shoot at the birds.
And then the wolves come for them, and then the spider monkeys come for them, and then the bears come for the spider monkeys.
Then eventually the game warden comes to see what all the hullabaloo's about, and you get him too.
And they serve all the meat at Buck Hunt, whatever the restaurant.
There was a picture of a man on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was so much overkill, the amount of dead animals they had in that place. Like it was so much that it made the room feel smaller because of so much stuff protruding from every side. Like they were very high ceilings, but it didn't feel like that. Where it was like
a forest, low-hanging limbs.
It's like drop a deer and put up a mirror, would you? Give us a little elbow.
Exactly. Put a mirror up. Jesus Christ, open this place up a little bit. You don't have to still abide by we stick by our feng shui from 1893 when we open these doors. My great-grandfather, or whatever she would sound like.
It sounds like they
like
survived the Great Depression, though. Like maybe something cool did happen there. Like,
I don't.
Taylor's like they didn't have to earn that, but maybe they did. Maybe all the other restaurants dropped off during the Great Depression, and these guys with their magnificent, like fake rattlesnake, survived.
They've been serving chicken as rattlesnake for over 100 years.
There was a scenario where Chiz was sitting and not paying attention, and a gentleman looked at him and says, "He's like, you're next, son. What are you, stoned or sleepy?" But there's a documentary that begins with like talking about the civil rights movement, and they sort of like give you an idea of what the atmosphere was. They talk about OJ's sports career, like beginning in college and going all the way up. And they're like, this guy, they show that this guy's more popular than Muhammad Ali or any of the other black athletes of his day, because those guys took hardline stances on race. And there was those runners at the Olympics with the raised fists and stuff, and the Black Panthers and the Black Power movement. And you had OJ being like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And he said that repeatedly. And there's one part where they tell a story about a thing that happened, and OJ's in a restaurant with some other black guys. And someone audibly says, "That's O.J. Simpson over there with those niggers." And someone asked O.J., like, "Doesn't that offend you? Isn't that terrible?" And he's like, "Oh no, don't you see? They didn't even think of me as a black person. like, they just saw O.J." And like time and time again. Funny. Time and time again, you get that. I don't even
realize I'm black.
That's what it was. I swear to God, that's what it was. And OJ had that in his head, and it became real. And every step of the way, when they show, anytime he'd get into a little spot of trouble, or anytime he had an opportunity, he got it or got out of it because he's OJ. He's not black. He's not white. He's just OJ.
He's a professional athlete, yeah.
He'd be orange, right? He's OJ. Okay, never mind.
Just OJ. Yeah,
So we landed out, and then we drove again when we couldn't fly that leg, and then we were going to fly into the end, and she broke again, and I flew back, and there was a trophy for the adventure winner, and I had it in my head that it might be mine. Like, I am the only finisher, I know I drove a bunch, but like everyone else has broken or quit.
I'm here.
Best kind of victory.
I'm here. That's all that matters.
All races are races of attrition. So they gave it to her, and she won.
Wait, what?
Why did they give it to her?
It said like Adventure Division race winner, and they're like, this is really for whoever exhibits the spirit of the race division the most.
Oh my God! Did you say I'm in my 40s and I didn't get free trophies back then. I missed that whole area, and now I win the trophy, and you're giving it to someone else to make them feel better. And you didn't bring 2 trophies, is that correct? Okay,
not even a certificate.
I got nothing.
Framed plaque.
Merit. So like a cartoon paramotoring guy, like in red and blue in the top corner. Like,
I have my memories.
That's honestly pissing me off a little bit. that she got the trophy when you were the only one who finished? Like, was it just how? Good God! Like, if participation trophies for soccer in like kindergarten are bad, if I saw through those when they handed it to me, what does this adult think as they hand her this big trophy? Like,
she
is she
looked
thinking,
at me
"Oh my God,
and,
they think
and
I'm retarded"?
She was like, "I feel like I should split it with you." And I was like, no, you're fine.
You should have taken it and smashed it in two right
no,
there.
This trophy. It was made of like 1/4-inch steel. It was like laser cut, and it was it stood up. Like, it wasn't just a plaque. It was like a trophy.
You would have loved to put that thing
Oh
in there
my God.
somewhere.
I would really have liked to have had
so much more to you than this girl. I won't disparage her in any way, but
Yeah,
but,
woman,
but
right,
she's
right.
not putting that on her mantle. She's not displaying that for hundreds of thousands to see.
No.
This is terrible.
You know what should have happened is the guy who gave out the trophies should have been there listening, and then when she said, I feel like we should just split it, and you said, oh, no, I'd rather you have it than any harm come to the trophy. Then he would say, aha, only the true race winner would want to see the trophy whole than to take half for themselves. And then he would take it from that stupid bitch, and she'd go, oh, I've been
she's
Solomon.
very nice.
And then it'd be good. So I think
so that's how the race went down. And episode 133. I was just kind of waiting for Kyle to scream it, like he's been anticipating the start of.
That's
show.
only
you know what he's done to you.
PKA.
You know what he's done? No, you've done it on PKN too.
I was gonna
Don't act
call
like
it-
you've
yeah,
got
yeah.
some that you've got some archive in your head of I only yell at PK. I'm calling you on that. You just do it when you feel like it. But I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
you've got Woody like Pavlov's dog now.
Yes.
To where now, because Woody used to just jump right in and be like, all right, we're gonna start talking about blah blah blah, blah. And you've now trained him to wait until you scream, and that is the beginning of the episode. And I like it a little bit.
Nothing comes between me and my masters.
What is it, Father?
These footprints were made by the Flying Monkey Man.
Is your best defense a handgun? Meet women who say shooting to kill was their only choice. I did what I had to do.
You little snickle friend.
He'd probably get indigestion.
You will go.
It's simple for...